Two clubs here, each looking to rebound from a Week 1 loss as we're underway on EA Sports.
And this is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Cost him about 5 yards as he's tackled into 20. This drive starts with, and right away, he lost the football.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover.
On second down, here's a run from Haskins.
And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
93. On first and 10, here's Carr.
And that throw behind his man, he missed him, incomplete.
Really good coverage all over the field. They took away his intended read and almost dared him to try for his guy out of the backfield. No surprise on that one. It doesn't connect.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up second and 10. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And this is caught inside the 5. Touchdown, Colts.
And most people think of Derek Carr kind of as a guy who excels throwing the short pass, but he can dial it up when need be.
Will Lutz on for the point after. And this is good to make it 7-0 Indy.
Makes the score Colts 7.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off.
And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much as he's marked down officially at the 21.
And right side, they're going to go option here. First play of the drive going for 14 and also going for a first down.
And this, it's certainly something to watch out for. He is not afraid to call his own number on plays like that. And here he takes it for good yardage.
And we know this defense prepared all week for this, but sometimes when you see it in person, it's a whole different ball game. And all that preparation, it goes right out the window.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on first and 10.
First carry now for the former Badger, Jonathan Taylor.
And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
The Ravens had 0-1 on the year following the loss in the opener. And listen, they knew last week they were in for a tough fight on the road. But now here's the home opener and a chance to get things right.
And I like the way that you presented that because the bottom line is they didn't come out of that loss discouraged. They just came home and said, hey, if we do what we're supposed to do, protect our home turf, we'll be just fine.
They'll send a receiver in motion left.
Second down, another run with Taylor.
Oh, he's got some breathing room.
And some pretty strong running there as he'll take this across the 50 and down to the 44.
That good for 19 and a first down.
A big hole there. How about him handling the point of attack? Just positioning himself so that run could go right off of his backside and deep into the secondary.
Now from Colts territory, here's a first and 10 at the 44-yard line.
First carry for the former Buckeye, J.K. Dobbins. He'll work his way up the middle for a gain of about 4 and second down. Not a whole lot there. The defense was ready, it looked, for that run-pass option.
You get the sense that next time he has that opportunity, he may keep it himself and get to the perimeter. Probably owes his back a little bit of an apology on that one, huh?
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. And right side, they're going to go option here. Oh, Prescott stripped, and the Colts pick it up. He's at the 40, the 20, 10, 5, and they are going to score on the fumble return. Touchdown, Indianapolis. And he has great speed, defensive back speed. Once he got it and took off, there was no catching it.
And I know every team tells you to hustle no matter what the play, but there was no chance of catching him. Maybe if it had been a defensive tackle running with the ball, but not in this case.
Lutz with the extra point, and that'll make the score 14-0. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They've been outplayed early, no question. Down 14-0 already as they come up 1st and 10. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on 1st and 2nd down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Now it's a bootleg with Prescott. He'll buy some time right. No, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Darius Slay with a pick. Unfortunately for him, if last week was any indication, we knew a pick was coming at some point. Last week it was interception after interception, and here we go again.
We actually quit counting last week at a certain point because I thought I was going to run out of fingers, all right, because I'm not all that skilled as a mathematician. But you're right, it felt like a matter of time, and you got to think the guys on defense, they couldn't wait for this opportunity after what they saw on tape.
A big hitter there, a 1st down gain of 26 yards. He had his eyes on the end zone once he hit the secondary, but they're finally able to slow him down.
Yeah, and I've got to look at this one from the defensive point of view. You just mentioned finally able to slow him down. They've got to figure out a way to make that at the point of attack, at the line of scrimmage, because once he gets through, he's shredding them.
Yikes, a 4-yard loss really sets him back now for 2nd down. Now Carr. And it's caught. Touchdown. Denzel Mims. His first touchdown of the new season. And the Colts take a 3-touchdown lead. Lutz to try to add the PAT. It's good, and before you know it, it's 21-0.
Makes the score 21. Ravens 0.
So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the first as they kick this one away. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
At their own 19-yard line.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And job one here, Charles, just keep possession of the football. 2 drives, 2 turnovers to this point.
You're exactly right, Doctor. Hippocratic oath. First, do no harm. And right now, they're harming themselves on offense.
I like that. No one is mistaking me for a doctor, though. But thank you, Dr. Davis. Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. They run once more with Taylor.
And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. The second down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
In motion, the tight end. On third down, it's Prescott. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
As a corner, you have to be able to run with guys step for step downfield in man coverage and make up ground quickly in zone. You have to put yourself in position to make plays, just like that one we saw there.
And he'll take it just outside the 40. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt. And the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive.
It has been about as perfect of a start to this game as these guys could have asked for, Charles. They've scored on their first 2 drives. They still haven't given anything up on the other side of the ball, so they can already make this a 3-score game here if they can come away with points on this drive.
It almost pushed them to the brink, aren't they, partner? Almost to the point now where it's a loss of words for me, which I know would excite all of our viewers, but you're just not supposed to see that type of dominance so quickly in a game like this. Everything they've done has been working so far. Offense, defense, you name it, it's going well for them.
Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7. Is that one officially a loss of 1?
Well, let's face it, that's just a helpless feeling for a running back there. He's looking up to find a hole, and all he finds is a whole lot of ticked-off linebacker.
(21-0) our score after 1. The Ravens bring out an extra defensive back here on 3rd. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter.
So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage.
Throwing his car on 3rd down. Looking for Campbell downfield. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
Well, their first 2 drives yielded touchdowns, so there's no reason for them to feel like they have to pull back on the reins. They pushed it downfield, looking for another one right there. Didn't get it, but we know they're going to continue to be bold.
This is taken at about the 14. He's got this almost to the 40 before going out. Great blocking on the return. It springs him for 25. And the Ravens, they'll take over. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. On play action, Prescott. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down. So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Throwing, Prescott.
Oh, he rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. And the Colts will take over here as they get it up to the 43-yard line. Well, we saw plenty of that during his much-heralded college career. He parlayed that into becoming a first-round selection. And now here he is making interceptions in the National Football League.
And this is a guy that has all the physical tools, but the thing that sets him apart is what he's got between his ears. And that's the sixth sense for knowing where the football is going. Just an excellent play there to create the turnover.
43 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
The previous run good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard.
2nd down, and they go back to Haskins.
And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. I bet the offensive linemen said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down. They love being physical.
Things looking much rosier for them here in week 2. They work with the lead as they've got it 1st and 10. Haskins now on 1st and 10.
And some space here. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. That's good for 21 yards and a first down.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Another run for Haskins. And some determined running there as he'll pick his way down to the 12-yard line.
A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
Now this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10.
They'll run up the middle with Campbell. And he's going to be hemmed in and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. 2nd down.
Now that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater. He just made a great play there.
Again to Haskins up the middle.
And this time he's going backwards. So after the no gain on the last attempt, here they get him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
They're backed up here. Tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first.
694. 29.
Working from the gun, it's Carr. This is caught. Touchdown, Colts. 3rd touchdown pass now for Derek Carr.
And the Colts continue to pull away here in this first half. So after the disappointment in the opening week loss, Charles, this looks like really a completely different football team.
They sure do, and I think they realize we can't start 0-2, and they're determined to not let it happen by the looks of things here in the early going.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off.
He will return this from deep in the end zone. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going.
Well, still early in this one, Charles, but the last time this offense was out there, they threw their first interception of the ball game, so trying to avoid repeating that mistake here on this drive.
And to put a positive spin on it,
At least it happened in the first half and not in a close game in the fourth quarter. But you're absolutely right, partner. One of the last things this offensive quarterback wants to witness again in this game.
Kind of an obvious question, Charles, but anything you try to avoid after your first pick, or you say it's one interception, we're still in the first half, I'm going to do the same thing?
I think you want to avoid playing scared, and put it into the mind of the quarterback that you've lost confidence in him. Make sure you get some throws that he's going to be able to complete, make him feel good about himself, and continue to run your offense.
Now a throw here to his running back. And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the flat.
Yeah, so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown or you're throwing the check down. But earlier in the game, it was touchdown or interception. Now he got to the check down, a nice safe throw, and a good one.
First and 10 at the 47-yard line.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. And right side, they're going to go option here. Prescott able to get down there at the end on the slide, and he has the first as well. Give him 10 yards on that one, and that earns him a fresh set of downs. First down, Prescott. The Colts are going to get him. Down he goes. Well-timed effort by Darius Slay. A sack on the corner blitz.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game, watching this offensive line, because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit. Right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown.
I'm not sure that they have illusions right now of, okay, we're going to score 8 times in a row and we're going to be terrific. But to get one, that was huge for them. That has to feel much better right now.
And you do have, you're still in the first half. You do have the entire second half. There's something about that goose egg that just looked bad on that board, but now they've broken it.
Yeah, broken through. Can they maintain the pace? We'll see as we go along.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
And this is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And with a little under a minute to go, still time to try to put a drive together to add to their lead should they so choose. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. 93 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half.
Most of their damage has been done through the air. I mean, they've rung the bell 3 times with passing touchdowns, but guess what? Ground game has not been neglected. Nice little burst right there.
And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them, but they did do a nice job there forcing a loss on that play.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. Carr going to throw. Pressure comes, and down he goes. So we come to halftime here with the visiting Colts taking the lead to the locker room. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. The Ravens set to receive the football, trailing here as we resume action in the 3rd quarter. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
And you have to think, Charles, down 3 scores already. They need to play an almost perfect second half to have a solid chance.
And that absolutely starts with finding some way to put together a touchdown drive here. They need to be smart, fast, efficient, get the ball into the end zone, and do it again multiple times in order to have a chance to win this game.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They go to the ground again with Taylor. And able to use his blockers to get this up over the 40. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
And that last carry puts him right at 100 yards for the game. So how has he done it? Because he's been patient, followed his blocks, let everything develop, and then burst through for big gains.
From the 41, Prescott.
And this will be swung out wide for Taylor. And they're going to get this up to midfield.
That was a pretty favorable situation there. What would you call that? 2nd and manageable? Smart play, too. Didn't force it downfield when he didn't have it. Just checked it down, let him get the 1st down, and that's exactly what he did.
On 1st and 10, it's Dobbins.
And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
They've created a nice sustained drive off of plays like that. A nice strong run there that keeps them advancing the ball.
They'll send a receiver here in motion right.
Now Dobbins again on 2nd down.
And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
Now that's the way to do it. Hand it to someone with vision and good footwork, and add in a little bit of power, and you find a way to pick up 1st downs.
On the counter now, it's Dobbins.
And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20.
I hope we give enough respect to the big guys up front because they have been getting it done on this drive. The holes have been large, and they've been barreling through them, picking up 1st downs.
Running left, Taylor.
And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
2nd down, another run with Taylor.
And despite the fancy footwork we saw, they'll get to him just inside the 15. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
Prescott to throw it. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. And now off to the races down the right side. He's at the 30. 10, 5, and he will bring it back. An interception return for a Colts TD.
And Charles, for this offense, those interception woes they kind of had in the 1st half have now followed them into the 2nd half. And for this defense, they take advantage, turn that into a pick 6.
And that defense is in a spot now where they're thinking about ways to close this game out. And as confidently as they've been playing, I expect them to do exactly that.
Lutt's good on the extra point, and that'll increase their lead to 28. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air.
And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going.
Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but...
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Darius Slay with a pick.
And the Colts are going to take possession of the football. Well, to be blunt, not a whole lot has gone right for this defense in this ball game, but that's something right there. Still in the third quarter. It would take something around miracle territory for a comeback, but maybe that's a start, Charles.
It certainly is, and they're definitely showing that there's some fight still left in them. Hasn't been a banner day, but they're trying their best to put that disappointment behind them and find ways to make plays.
98 yards for him on the ground now, as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4.
Second down, and they go back to Haskins. And he'll follow his blockers there all the way down to the 23-yard line.
That's good for an Indianapolis first down on a gain of 10.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Carr now on first down. He's got a man. It's his fullback.
And they're going to be set up now with the ball at the 13-yard line.
Well, they certainly spread the ball around so far, but they're definitely getting everyone involved now when you're throwing it to the fullback. It just shows how versatile this offense is and how everyone is a threat.
In need of only about the length of the football here on second down. Straight ahead, here's Haskins.
And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. 4 yards on the play. That's going to lead to 1st and goal.
Well, that was a unit that understood exactly where the first down marker was, handed it to their guy who could run it, created some space, and he got there.
They'll run here with Haskins.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
They run it again with Haskins.
And he's going to get about 4 down inside the 10 to the 9.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness. Think about running the ball here, not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
And I think the defensive guys are probably expressing themselves to them as well. I wouldn't run it here, guys. You might want to try throwing it.
Here's 3rd and goal now from the 9.
And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. Give him 4 yards there, but they're still well short of the goal line with 4th down now looming.
You know what? I know it's 4th down and they've got a big lead, but go for it.
Yeah, and why not, right? Because they have the big lead. But don't you have to have a little bit of admiration for these guys on the defensive side of the ball? They've been shoved around this entire game, and they're making a nice goal line stand here. It would be fun to see them stop them on 4th down, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's like putting whipped cream on broccoli at this point.
So what you're saying is they're going to go for it on 4th down. They're going to get it, aren't they?
I would.
And we'll begin it with a field goal try here from the right hash, and this one just a chipping. The kick by Lutz is good, and that will extend their lead even further.
Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds.
And that last throw is going to keep him climbing that all-time passing yards leaderboard as he crosses the 25,000-yard mark now for his career.
He just recently passed Bart Starr. Next up for him, Bob Greasy. That's 2 Hall of Famers, 2 Super Bowl winners, multiple Super Bowl winners. So he's getting up with the legends now. Congratulations.
Open man, that's the tight end Freiermuth. And he will have a Ravens first down. It won't be by much. He needed 3, and he got 3, barely. But the mark shows first down.
First and 10 at the 26-yard line.
Prescott on first down. And now here is another. Now he's hit on the return. It's a loose football. Well, do you want to unpack that one, or do you want me to?
You're the boss.
We get the interception, then really he's just too loose with the football on the return, and he coughs it right back up the other way.
I've seen this happen in an NFL game, and boy, did it cost someone. San Francisco at Atlanta a few seasons ago. Atlanta throws the interception.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down.
But one thing I do know, these guys on defense, they don't want this game to end. They're winning by multiple touchdowns. They've shut down the opposing quarterback in a big way, and they're still picking up sacks as we approach the end of this one.
So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24. Prescott. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
We've seen that the deep ball's been a part of their game plan all afternoon, but they've had trouble hooking up on it, unable to successfully find the end zone over the top.
This offense so far on 3rd down, they've only converted once in 4 tries. This will be 3rd and a mile. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Nice back-to-back plays defensively. They're stacking momentum now. 1 incompletion, 2 incompletion. They're going for more.
The Ravens send their punter out now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And this will be down by a member of the kicking team just outside of the 30-yard line.
At their own 34-yard line.
What now?
The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive.
And they look to finish strong in this 4th quarter. And this is a unit that certainly has turned things around from a week ago. Just a much more productive all-around ball game.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
134 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. And carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
Tackle made that time by Dalvin Tomlinson.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
The CD, they're up big, but they're still passing it. I mean, this is an offense that's had a lot of success in this game, and it seems like they're just having fun out there.
And it does feel like there's been a shift out there, doesn't it, partner? Listen, if you're up, you can continue to do what you want to do. It's up to the other team to make you change how you do things. They'll continue to throw it around until stopped.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Kyle Fuller.
And the Ravens will take over here just shy of the 30.
Now they get a fourth quarter pick. A little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. That's a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other, but it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game is over. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
On 2nd down, a run with Dobbins.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. They wind up losing a couple there, so they go behind the original line of scrimmage, and now 3rd and 11 coming up.
Running straight ahead, Taylor.
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 16 yards on that one, and a Raven first.
Well, sometimes, Brandon, it's just not a secret to how things get done. He's been running well all game long, and they continue to rely on him in this key situation.
They told us they were going to rely on him. They have. He comes through there, a big 3rd down conversion. He's going to sling this deep downfield. And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Minkah Fitzpatrick.
And the Colts are going to take over here at their own 22-yard line. But with this advantage, this defense knew the passes were coming, and they stayed in position, Charles, and picked one off here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, what a way to cap things off, huh? Because I think this is part of the game within the game. They see the scoreboard, they see what they can accomplish, and they went for it.
The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive.
Haskins with a run to begin the drive.
And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. 4th quarter, you've got the lead. You have to stay in bounds and run that clock. Coaches, that'll drive them crazy.
Sacrifice a yard or 2 if you have to. Just go down, inbounds, keep that clock going. It's almost like he was caring more about his fantasy stats than it was about winning the game, and that has to drive a coach crazy.
Calling a gain of a couple, and that's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 5.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. On 3rd down, here's Haskins.
And he's going to have the 1st down, yardage to the 35. A strong 8 yards will keep this drive rolling. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Colts in possession of the football as we get you reset. And they have just about put this one on ice as they've got it here, 1st and 10.
Handoff now, it's Haskins.
And he loses the football a 2nd time. And it's picked up by the Ravens. And it's a defensive return for a late touchdown. So they still need somewhat of a miracle here, but at least that gets them a little bit closer. Now the try here for the extra point. And the lead is down to 24. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score.
And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5.
So it's the big left tackle who gets tagged with a hold.
And sometimes you're actually executing the block well, and he starts to slip off of you, and instinctively you reach out and grab him. And when it's done like that, it's often seen by the official and called.
And he takes us across the 15 to the 17. That's a gain of 6 on the first down run. Good gain there on first down. It keeps them in a running situation probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him, ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds and keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature at the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
Running for it, Haskins.
And oh my goodness, he loses it again. And it's picked up by the Ravens. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line.
Man, that's a third fumble for him now in this ball game. And you know the old saying, CD, once is a fluke, twice a coincidence, 3 times becoming a pattern.
3 times is a problem in this case because we've seen field goal kickers have days like this, quarterbacks occasionally. But how rare is it for us to see a running back losing 3 times trying to carry it?
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Here's Prescott. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Even with such a big lead late, the effort hasn't lapsed one bit. If the offense wants to score some points in this one, they're going to have to earn it. These guys are not giving up anything.
Here's Prescott. And able to catch it on the left sideline, but they're going to rule him out of bounds. So it'll be incomplete, certainly one they'd like to have back as it brings up 4th down.
Well, we've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day when you feel like an incomplete pass is almost a win for you because it wasn't intercepted. I think the receivers now, when they're running their routes, they want to catch the ball, but they also want to make sure that the defenders don't take it away.
So this one winds up an Indianapolis victory, and it was a game where they were off and running in the first quarter, Charles, and never looked back.
You know, partner, after a while, we always say the same thing, don't we? They set the tone early, right? They started fast. So I asked a few of my horse racing friends, do you have a term for me that we can use to cover that? And they said, yeah. When a horse breaks out like that, you say he caught a flyer out of the gate. And that's exactly what this team did today. I mean, they jumped out there, jumped on them, and were never headed.
So for the Colts, it was a great all-around performance as they come out of this one with the victory. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Houston to take on the Texans. Meanwhile, for Baltimore, they'll drop to 0-2, and they'll be back home next week for a date with the New York Jets.
You